not only is Parliament acting together and seeking the abolishing of the Office of Special Prosecutor, but some sections of citizens believe that this is the way to go. Why? Because there's been one man who has led a campaign for a long time. And that campaign appears to have culminated in the events that's got the whole country talking about the OSP and the head of that office. Martin Kpebu, good morning and thank you very much for joining us on Newsfile.
Good morning, Sam. Right. Good to be here. The Mentor General. Maybe Ghanaians don't know this. I always say that, look, I think I'm largely on TV, okay? Or I'm on TV largely due to your influence. Yeah, you've always been the mentor. I remember those days where it seemed like the bar had left you alone. You were the lone voice, the lone lawyer talking. I used to get angry that, why wouldn't the senior lawyers join and talk? Why wouldn't the senior lawyers join and talk? Why wouldn't the senior lawyers join and talk? And the next thing I knew, I had joined you.
I remember how repeatedly you would say this to me and I would say, slow down.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Right, so you used to love your private life.
Yes, sir.
And just about, now getting to about 2 years now, you've been shot into this public life.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you enjoy it, do you?
No, not in terms of just relishing it for its sake. No, because it comes with a lot of limitations. That's to say that things that ordinarily I could do, I no longer can. Everything you do, you are watching. Hey, if the public got to know this, how would it fare? So it brings a lot of stress. Right. Yeah, it brings a lot of stress.
Right.
But the motivating factor, like I said, at least I know it means that for some years now, we've been giving you support. Right. So even the senior lawyers say they won't talk, junior lawyers will talk. And when I say junior, I don't mean like we are junior.
Of course.
Junior in terms of relative to the stalwarts. You know, even now Tadiosori is talking. I remember those days. I call senior Tadiosori. I say, senior, you guys should be the ones talking because we all know that Thaddeus is a colossus. Yeah. I went to meet Ace and Kuma when he said he was no longer going to talk. I said, no, senior, even because of your age, certain age bracket, they want to listen to you more than younger ones like us, etc. So, I mean, I'm happy I've joined the crusade. We are building a stronger society.
Even busy. Let's cut to the chase. You went to the office of the Special Prosecutor, abusing officers, obstructing them from doing their work, and didn't expect that you'd be arrested because that is an offense, at least under the OSP Act Section 29(3).
Well, Sam, I'm not abusive. No, at all. It's a story that has been fabricated. That's why I came out straight with my version to say what the truth is. Unfortunately for me, you had your reporter, journalist, Fatah Bayarga, right? Yes, and the cameraman. And then also I have two of my lawyers with me. Yes, they were the persons at least who I trust will say the truth. No, I didn't go there to cause trouble. You know what happened? Cut to the chase, like you said earlier. The soldier abused me. He said he will show me in a very menacing manner.
Without provocation at all?
Absolutely, and we'll soon come to the step by step, but I just want to say the core of it. Yes. So can you imagine? I was walking up. I was like walking about 5 to 7 meters, okay, with him behind. I didn't even know. So let's put it this way. I walked past the security post for about 5 to 7 meters. Then he called from behind. So can you imagine? Somebody is walking to the reception. Then you call him from behind. And they say, next time you come here and do that again, I will show you. And that's from a soldier. And he was pointing his hands and fingers at me. So you see, it was quite threatening enough. Then I said, no, you have no authority to do that. You can't stop me from going out to grant interviews, right? So the next thing I knew, then he said, you're a stupid man. So I looked at him and said, no. So I also replied that he's stupid. I think I had to reply in equal measure because such an unrepentant soldier, if you allowed it to happen, he would continue doing that. And I can tell you that subsequently, a senior police officer called me and said they did the same thing to him some months ago, and Sami Darko knows about it. That person had coincidentally gone to see Sami Darko, and the soldiers did that. So if it's a lie, I mean, of course, when you mention that there was an incident, and Sami Darko knows. When we say Sami Darko, he's the Director of Strategy and Communications, among others, at the OSP. So that's not it. Do we have time to go through step by step now?
It's curious that such a thing will happen without any provocation, because as we understand from your narrative so far, you had been asked not to conduct the interview in front of, at the entrance.
Yes.
And some of the journalists rather try to ask the officers, why can't we do this here? And you were the one,
say that again,
as you said, told them that they should be calm, so you moved a little away.
Yeah.
Then you finish with that, and you're walking back into the OSP's offices, and the soldier attacks you.
That is it, absolutely. So I'm still a bit traumatized. Yeah, because I was like, this is insane. I'm still a bit traumatized. That is the right narration. So rightly, as you said, so when I came back, I went past the security. The first person I met was a policeman who came and sacked us. And I, as I said, I dutifully obeyed. So, and I think, looking back, when I met the policeman, when I returned in, he didn't say anything to me. I didn't say, I just passed. With hindsight, I think I expected that he should commend me. That the moment he said they should move, I quickly obeyed, moved them, that we should go. Then we went and did the interview where he thought was good.
What we hear from the officers, rather, is that it is those officers who deserve commendation because you abuse them, rather.
Good.
Because they have sought to caution you.
Yeah.
After you had finished the interview and returning into the offices, then they have sought to caution you by saying, please, we don't do that here. And that's what led to, as we have been informed, you stating that you will do anything you want.
Okay.
And then it led into the altercation. And we are being told that you actually used, abusive words, that you could do anything you want. The one who was instructing you was an idiot, and so on and so forth.
Well, it's a complete falsehood. That's a false statement. As I mentioned, so when I returned, I met the policeman first. As I say, I just went past. But I'm saying with hindsight, maybe you should have commended me. As you keep narrating a story, ordinarily I greet or I would say something, but as I say, I just went past him quietly. So I went about 5-7 meters. Then now, there are two policemen. The first one, the tall one, said, "You." Sam, that's the way, "you." So 5-7 meters, and naturally, you would want to turn. So I turned, and I saw him. Then he continued, "We allowed you to park in this yard, and then you went out to grant an interview. Next time, I won't allow you to do that." Then being a lawyer, naturally, I'll be curious, which law is that? So I said, no, you can't stop me from going out to grant an interview. Of course, let's not forget, President Jefferson, the third president of the U.S., said he prefers a nation or a society with a strong media to a society with a government but no media. In other words, for the media, don't play. I'm going up into a powerful institution. I want to give a few comments for society to be informed what's going on. And you think that's not necessary. So I told him he had no powers. Then he kept quiet. The tall soldier kept quiet. Then I moved further, 2-3 steps. Then I heard, "As for me," yeah, that's paraphrasing. Then I turned. And that's the short soldier. Then he said, "As for me, look, next time you come and do that here, I will show you." Very menacing, in a menacing manner. Sam, let me complete the sentence this way. Then I said, "No, you have no powers." Then the next thing, he said, "You're a stupid man." So it's that soldier who started. So what was I obstructing? So remember, I'm going. The man talking to me is behind me, about 5 meters. He's done with me. I mean, he had no need to check me. So he was not checking me, not doing any security checks. I'm 5-7 meters towards the reception. So he calls me from behind. I'm not standing with him and obstructing anything. So, and he insults me and think as a lawyer I should keep quiet. No, we have to stand for our rights.
I get the sense that they may have felt that you would have broken their protocol, because having been to the place a number of times, just 2 weeks ago I led a client there, you would find that the protocol there is that once you go inside and you park, you go straight to the reception and you are processed to go to what you have to do. Before you walk out of the place. So do you think they felt agitated that you have packed inside and you want to go outside and return?
Sam, it's because of situations like this that Article 107 of our Constitution is against retroactivity or retrospectivity. This protocol you are talking about, is it written anywhere there? So to make it simple, maybe you put a, what do you call it, a dashboard or maybe a sign, and then put out the rules that once you enter here, these are the protocols. So make the laws before. So you see, in this case, they failed. And I can tell you that that was my 3rd day of attendance. So I say 3rd because I'd been there the week before and there the first time, so 2 weeks. So this is the 3rd one. On the 2 previous occasions, that's the same way I packed and went out to grant interviews, came in, and there was no issue. So you can't blame me.
You have attended to their invitation 3 times.
Yes.
That suggests that you are very willing to cooperate in what we have been told is a fact-finding committee to establish allegations you have made.
Very much so. I'm willing to cooperate because I have evidence. I know, at least, as I said, having learned from you, being mentored by you, and now we are in the media, I know that, and being a lawyer, I know that the listener should have his evidence before I say anything. That's why each occasion they invite me, I go, except the one they couldn't manage to bring the invitation to my notice, and Samidaku went and lied that they called me 15 times, and I dared them to produce the evidence. They've still not done so. Yes, so that's why I keep going. I have evidence. So by each occasion, sometimes they keep botching it. Is it any wonder that they allowed the Furiata to abscond? Okay? Yeah, they allowed the Furiata to flee from Ghana because they are so incompetent. You know why? We've gone 3 times and we've not finished with it because each time we go, they present me with subordinates to Kisi Ejabin, and let's distinguish subordinates from genius, because I've seen an official statement coming from OSP under the hand of Samidaku where he said I'd use the word genius. Sam, I'm daring Samidaku to bring out any tape where I said the officers who meet me are genius. No. I said subordinate to Samidaku, so even a deputy managing director is a subordinate to the managing director. So far, the first day we met Albert Akrugu, director of asset recovery.
And yes. He recused himself.
Yes, the other 2 were not directors. Then they reconstituted. So the second time, the panel was Abraham Ablo-Mensah. He's the chief of staff of the OSP, and then lawyer Albert Paddington. Abraham, chief of staff, he's a subordinate to Kisi Ejabin, the SP, right? And Albert Paddington, the same. So the second time when we met Mr. Ablo-Mensah and lawyer Paddington, we said, no, listen. So to make it simple, we have to say, when we say we need something independent, minimum in this context, we should meet the board members. Let's give the information to the board members. Because you a subordinate, the optics look bad. If you find him liable, somebody say, hey, for a subordinate to find the boss liable, it's possible they have a beef. Right. If you exonerate him, they will say, oh, but what is to be expected? He's a subordinate. He needs what? Promotion. He needs other perquisites and those things.
So it's obvious that there are no officers within the OSP that you will submit to, except the board members.
Absolutely.
Or the board, currently, it doesn't have a board.
And there will be a board soon. I can tell that from the look of things, there are efforts. I can tell because I don't think 11 months into a new government, nothing has been done. From the way things run, I'm sure efforts are being made to constitute a board. So why this inordinate rush? Ask me to go and give information to a subordinate. No, it doesn't look good.
As we understand, these pieces of evidence of corrupt conduct against the head of the institution and some other officer that you have mentioned within the institution is something that you have, but you are not willing to submit that evidence to officers who are lower than the SP.
Absolutely.
The question has been asked, why don't you make public this evidence of yours?
Okay.
So that even if eventually, by the manner in which you have cooperated, if you submitted it to them, it cannot be compromised.
Excellent. So we are on it. I gave the general public a tip of the iceberg.
Your first corruption allegation was about that the SP is a double agent and he's compromised by Furiata, and that's why he let him go.
Yes. Yes. So, yes, let's come back to it.
That's something you can prove?
Let's come. In French, I will do. You will see. The double agent, I didn't necessarily tie it to the Oforiatta case. I made it general. So you see this Kingsley Agyemangton. His friends, he's doing it for friends on the other side. That's double agent. So I've proven it by what this Kingsley Agyemangton case. I'm home and dry.
I'm looking to see the documentation, and
yes.
Also because the law requires that the other side should be heard.
Yes.
So that the other side, the person being accused, yes. Eventually should be heard so that we can tell.
Absolutely. That's why I said I'll give you those two because people are daring me. Right. So I'll give you those two. So double agent, I didn't necessarily say only to the Oforiatta case. I said double agent generally. So this Kingsley Agyemangton case, it passes. Kingsley Agyemangton with the MPP. And Kpebu Agyebang was appointed by Kufuor MPP government. Yeah, so he's working for the other side. So I'm done, even with the Kingsley Agyemangton case alone. Now let's come to Oforiatta, this core of the matter. Look, Samson, doesn't it beggars believe that Kpebu Agyebang, the special prosecutor, first-class graduate of the University of Ghana, would tell you that he saw Oforiatta leave, but he was powerless. And before saying he saw him leave, before that he said, before Oforiatta traveled, Kpebu Agyebang, intercepted the letter Oforiatta wrote to the outgoing chief of staff and to the incoming chief of staff. And then based upon it, he now sought help from NIB. Allegedly, didn't get help. I have my letter from NIB where they've denied. I wrote to them, did Kpebu Agyebang come here to seek help to arrest Oforiatta? They said no. And apart from NIB, he said he went to immigration service. They didn't help him. I have a letter there. I'm sure they will respond soon. Then he went to national security. He didn't get help. And he couldn't blow the whistle. Samson, you are one of the pioneers of whistleblowers. I mean, in terms of educating the masses. You know, you are a colossus. We have to give, credit where credit is due. You know how you've mentored a lot of us, and today we are helping in the fight. So we shouldn't forget that as Ghanaians, right? And he couldn't blow the whistle to say, okay, if all these institutions are not helping me, then the ultimate, masters of the nation, the ultimate owners of the nation must know. So I'll do a press conference, or I'll put out a press statement online, and then the rest of the media will pick it. That Oforiatta is about to travel out of Ghana. I want to arrest him, yet these institutions are frustrating me.
I've heard you say this repeatedly, that even you would have gone to the airport.
Absolutely. You can trust me. I would have been at the airport.
Seriously mean that?
Oh, I would have been there.
That
yes.
A whistle should be blown.
Yes.
So that citizens will mass up at the airport to stop Oforiatta from traveling.
Yes, when we say airport, you know, the airport, there are precincts. So it's to draw attention. We go to part of the airport, then begin to attract media. That's how we do it. Just like when I was arrested, you see how, and thank you very much, multimedia. I understand you were streaming my arrest and making efforts to get me released. The same for TV3, that's Media General, okay, and other media outlets. Thank you. So that's the power. That's the power, that as soon as word gets out that Oforiatta is about to travel and these institutions are allegedly frustrating Kpebu Agyebang. What? Oh, me number one. I would have been the one at the airport massing people up to come there so that we generate the attention.
Do you expect that in a democracy of the rule of law, when things have to be done in accordance with law and some order, and at a time when the person had the permission from the highest place, who else should countermand that permission?
The people of Ghana, because Sam, you taught us, sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana. That's Article 1 of the Constitution. Sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana, Article 35 of the Constitution, 1995. Sovereignty resides in the people of Ghana, Article 125 of the Constitution. And many other provisions of the Constitution, even though they don't use sovereignty, what they are saying is that ultimately, Ghana belongs to Ghanaians. So when you hit a roadblock, go to Ghanaians and inform them. And that's what Martin Amidu did. You remember the
But that was a call for disorder.
No, that's not disorder. That's the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't prevent that. Because and the theory of sovereignty
is a powerful thing. As we understood, he was sick. He was seeking help.
Yes, absolutely. So just like what Kpebu Agyebang did to me, just as you and I are talking now, I had to give him landed property in my name to secure my bail over a matter in which a soldier abused me. So for me to be reasonable, Sam, I've been in the media space for at least 9 years consistently now, right? It's not my suggestion that Oforiatta could never have traveled. what I understand the law to be is that if he was arrested, like we said, 1 minute is done, the arrest is done, detention is a different matter. And so, Ofori-Atta, we have 5 cases against you. These are the figures involved. Give us bail, 1 billion, whatever the figures are. You know, Osei-Sibe's case, his bail was originally set at 800 million, brought to 623. Right. He's still asking for reduction. So all I'm saying is that they look at all the cases and decide the bail for him. So if he had arrested him and gotten sureties, okay, gotten various sureties for his release, etc., the conversation would have been different. Don't forget, Kisei Jabin is, what do you call it? We say loosely a friend, not body, right, but we've been in the same space with Kisei Jabin for 27 years now.
Ongoing, and now the onus is on the Attorney General through the extradition process, the Attorney General and the presidency to ensure that Ken Ofori-Atta is brought back. Too little, too late. Too little, too late. And it's neither here nor there. In the meantime, the OSP has suffered disrepute, ridicule, contempt that our chief prosecutor doesn't even know how to summon help. That as chief prosecutor, and you have powers of, what do you call it, arrest under Section 28 of the Special Prosecutor, Office of Special Prosecutor Act. Your suspect, your most valuable suspect, he has 5 cases, is leaving the country. You don't know how to blow the whistle. That tells you that is crass That brings me back to the issue you raised about he saying that he sought help from NIB and the rest and he didn't get help. At the time, in the previous regime, I'm sure you were aware that the OSP, that office, had a lot of difficulties because there was generally no cooperation from the police and the other offices.
I no longer believe it. It's a ruse, and that's Sami Dako.
You and I became aware that that was the situation.
That was so. Yes, that situation. I believe we're just being poisoned. It was just poisoned. They were giving us false information. You see, with time, we've unmasked them. The time he arrested Cicely Adapa, why was it not under Akufo-Addo's regime? Manasseh Azure, when he did SMA, private investigators, he said they have been drives around in a bulletproof car. Does Manasseh Azure have bulletproof? Does the fourth estate have even 1/100th of the 1,000th of the resources the special prosecutor has? It's a ruse. It was just a convenient lie to allow a lot of the rot to go on. Is it any wonder that subsequent information is shown that Kisei Jabin started the SML investigations in January 2025? Another blatant lie he told in the KSM interview. So I'll tell you, Sam, I'm happy you said that.
But they had the Manasseh Azure and his team, the fourth estate, who are insisting that the investigation started late, are the same who had published earlier that the OSP had begun the investigations.
Very good. Sam, back to the same answer. Based on the false information they were feeding us.
And before that, there were interactions between the Office of the Special Prosecutor and Ken Ofori-Atta. So it cannot be that the investigation was started late in January.
Oh, Sam, that's false. You see how their false statements are. I remember one clear statement Sami Dako, Director of Strategy Communication at the OSP, made on TV3, Saturday program. He confirmed to us that at the time Ofori-Atta was leaving Ghana, he had no knowledge that there was any pending case against him at the OSP. That's very clear. TV3, we can pull it out. I'm telling you, heaven and earth. He said, and that was not the only medium. There are other media in which he said it, that at the time Ofori-Atta was leaving Ghana, he had no knowledge that there was any case against him. I swear you.
We should look for that.
Yes.
But when you say he said he went to NIB and you have gone to NIB for evidence that he never contacted them.
Yes.
Is it not really the case, if you listen to the interview with KSM, that he was talking about the general situation at the time and not that he had personally spoken to or called or written to anybody?
I don't agree. No, I also watched the tape. I've watched it the second time. I don't agree. Even if you leave the NIB stuff aside, remember the other phrase he said? He said, we were powerless. A special prosecutor who doesn't appreciate the Constitution. The Constitution says the sovereignty of Ghana lies in the people of Ghana. So if you hit a roadblock, the meaning is that go to the sovereign, go to the boss. The boss is not the president of Ghana. The boss is the sovereign, and that's the people of Ghana. How do you reach the people of Ghana? Press statement, press conference. Didn't he do Ankwa Numa part 1 or Ankwa Numa press interview? He did it. So if you hit a roadblock like Martin Amidu did, and you see when Amidu did and said Akufo-Addo is the mother serpent of corruption, you see how it stuck forever, and Akufo-Addo never recovered from it. And Kisié Jabin says he cannot appreciate this.
Martin Amidu said that, and we took that and ran around with it, regardless of whatever explanation the presidency had to give. Will that be fair? But my substantive question here is that when you say he was appointed by the Akufo-Addo administration because he was friends with Gabi and all of those things, it should not also be lost on us that within that same regime, he had a lot of difficulties, right?
Okay, so now let me come. The Martin Amidu one, yes, so his perception, Sam, just like the way you've held a very reputable, I mean, your reputation is huge in Ghana, you see. So there are certain things that if you say it, and then another person says, people will go with yours. And it's not only in Ghana. Let me give a quick example from the US. James Comey met with President Trump.
Yeah.
After their meeting, that was the first time that Trump, what Comey came and said, as against what Trump said, the people of America said, no, they are going with James Comey because generally he had built a high reputation. I've met him once, I mean, one of the this in ABA conferences in the US, saying him, yeah, he has such a huge reputation. So that's it on that one. Now, Sam, I'm no longer in for this business that he had great difficulties in the previous administration. I'm done. I'm no longer subscribing to that notion based on what Kisié Jabin is done. The trust is gone. You sit down, deceive the public that you are busily investigating the SML case, and the diary of action shows the first entry as 29th of January 2025. Something is gone. Even before the SML, the diary of action came, I lost it the day he lied in the KSM interview, and that was before 5th of November, because I think I started reacting to that KSM interview on the 5th of November, and having been interviewed by KSM, I see that it's done at least a day before it comes out to the public. So from 5th of November, that was it for me. The moment he admitted, your special prosecutor says that he's powerless. So when he can inform the sovereign, the people of Ghana.
The question to ask is, are you being very fair to the special prosecutor?
Absolutely.
When you are ready to take information against him and the office, but you're not ready to take any information from him and his office.
No, Sam, that's why I said it's the record. Remember that I was one of Kisié Jabin's greatest cheerleaders. I was also always cheering him. This -10, consistent negative, well, it's not -8. This march for better accountability started only somewhere about 20th of October. That's when it started. But until then, except where he made elementary mistakes in applying for the freezing order in the Cecilia Dapa matter, and with hindsight, that elementary mistake, I'm beginning to suspect that it was deliberate, because every lawyer knows that if you are going to court to say you want to freeze certain assets, at least attach the bank statement for him to have gone out.
So to that issue about, we saw things in the public play out from the regime at the time. You could see what appeared to be like a coordinated, attack on that office.
No, I no longer subscribe. I'm done, Samson, I'm done. The moment
there were even about 2 suits that were mounted in the Supreme Court seeking to remove, to collapse the office at the time.
Those are legitimate. We all know Dr. Ayeni. One of them was Ayeni. So Ayeni said the retiring age. Yeah, so he was saying that Amidu was overage. It's a legitimate question.
No, I'm referring actually to the Kpebu, series of actions.
Yeah, that's no attack at all. It's no attack. Sam, I'm telling you that I no longer subscribe to that this baseless rumor that the previous administration was heckling him. I said that Manasseh Azure lived in that previous administration and did all those exposés. Even me, the NDA case, I went and reported it. And another reason I've lost trust, I even started saying it. But all this while, though I was dissatisfied, because we are human and we make mistakes, overall, I still gave him the benefit of the doubt and still supported him. But one of the first major things that gave me the doubt was that the NDA case, that's Northern Development Authority case, the persons he put before court, he didn't include the person who approved the transaction. That's Clara Napagatia Sulemana, different from our beloved.
You complaining about
yes, because that lady has a special relationship with Akufo-Addo. Then number 2, the person who uploaded the information on the gift mix. I think Henry, I'm not sure if his surname is Marty, but it's certain Henry. And the chief director, how do you do such a thing and then leave them out? So it created great doubts. But at that time, you see, we are all maturing. So for me, I was like, okay, half a loaf is better than none. That's why I complained a few times and left it. But I see and then Martin Amidu wrote about the corruption in that office. Then they had to say, oh, we should leave it. So it's been building up. So now I've had it. That's why I say, when I look back with her, and the lies Sami Dakwis told me.
There were about 2 petitions seeking to remove the special prosecutor. So it was obvious that the office was under attack. He himself was under attack.
It's not an attack. It's a legitimate case Martin Amidu had. One of them that I'm very sure of. Martin Amidu says, when you are employing public officers, okay, of a certain category, involve the Public Services Commission. It's a constitution. So it still beggars believe that that case was thrown out by Justice Tokonu. I still beggars believe.
So people have asked questions. You have consistently, sought to find faults with the processes they file in court. Why? They do the investigations. They would know more and better than people who take who blow the whistle to them and so on. Why don't we give them the benefit of the doubt to get to the end of what they are doing before we make our commentary?
Sam, let's remember again. The time I started calling out Kissie Jabin generally that he should go was about 20th of October this year. So until then, I was largely supporting him. So you see that even the affidavit, the motion he filed for freezing, where he didn't attach the bank statement, I said it's an elementary mistake, but I was still supporting him, except once in a while, they do buy him case, when he let out a Dubai, and I'm yet to sue the office. I'll sue the office over the statement that influence peddling is not part of our laws, etc. Yet, I criticized him for that one, but you see that subsequently, other issues came, I kept supporting. Even today, look, the day I went to Apostle Abraham Lincoln Labis Debu, he says the office should be scrapped. Yet, though I went there to support him, I said, no, only Kissie Jabin be taken out, the office be maintained. But now that democracy is crowd wisdom, since parliamentarians all agree, I'll reserve my comment. It's crowd wisdom. Let Parliament decide, because Kissie has helped.
You don't mind if this office is abolished?
Right now, look, let them debate first. So it's going to be a debate before a decision. So when we hear, because they say democracy is crowd wisdom, I think I've had my say. Let's hear the parliamentarians.
The crowd wisdom suggests that the politicians are afraid, and so it is in their interest for that office to be collapsed.
Let's hear the debates first, because until, like you told me earlier, you can't condemn a man until you've heard him. So Sam, from what we've seen, there have been periods I criticized him in the past, but overall, I've been supportive. The only time that now I said, no, I think it's enough, it was 20th of October, where I said, no, it looks like we've had it, so he should just generally, go. Yes, so that's what we should be saying.
There are those who say that you are interested in this office.
Oh, no. It's laughable. So you see, I've started laughing. It's laughable. Sam, generally, so let's just go straight. No. Simple answer, no. But what should tell you that
the media had just reported yesterday that you said that you will be a perfect, replacement.
No, it's, what do you call it? They will paraphrase. You know how the media do certain things. Sometimes they will exaggerate. Sam, we all know that after leading these charges for his removal, for me, the optics will look bad. So, no. I've never...
Well, if you're qualified, why not?
I just think that having led the charges, saying that he should go, I should not be the one to replace him. And that's all my honesty. No, look, I believe in this thing that what is mine will come to me. That's not the office I've dreamt about. It's clear that someday I'll go into public office. It's very clear to me now. But not special prosecutor.
When are you, as it were, tendering your petition for his removal?
Yeah, now looking at the turn of events in Parliament, I think I have to just do it sometime next week. First, I've been holding up because I keep getting information. People are contributing information in drips and bits. But now looking at it, I think timing is very important. So I have to quickly put it in so that it can make its way to the Chief Justice.
It's an office of many people with senior staff, some of them lawyers. I know lawyers who are there who are senior to me at the bar. And they all work. He's only the head. Why is the target him? When in fact, most of what goes on, he's not the one who does them.
He's the one I have evidence against. So it's a question of evidence. I don't have evidence against the other people. So may I speak to evidence? That's a simple answer.
So your petition will be when again?
I think in the course of next week. We just have to stop and put it in next week. It shouldn't go beyond Wednesday. I think at this stage, we just have to put it in. Because
you are certain this is the end of the road for the SP?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you see my dossier, you see that, oh yes, we've done some work. Yeah, we've done some work. Kisi Ejabi is not fit for that.
Martin Kpebu, thank you very much for your time. And this has been a quick interaction with Martin Kpebu, who has been leading the charge for the SP's removal and for change in that particular outfit. Let's see how things turn out.